What if everything you believed about staying fit after 60 was only giving you half the results you deserve? That daily walk you're so proud of, the one you never miss, might actually be leaving critical gaps in your strength, balance, and even brain health. I know this might sound shocking, maybe even a little offensive to everything we've been told, but stick with me because the science has evolved dramatically, and what I'm about to share could completely transform how you approach fitness in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Recent research from leading medical institutions is revealing something fascinating. While walking is certainly beneficial, there are specific functional movements that deliver superior results in nearly every measurable aspect of healthy aging. We're talking about muscle strength, fall prevention, cognitive function, and overall independence. And here's what makes this even more compelling. These movements often take less time than a traditional long walk. Whether you're 61 or 81, you absolutely deserve to feel powerful, stable, and fully alive in your body. These aren't just random exercises I'm about to share with you. They're scientifically backed tools for reclaiming the freedom and vitality that should define your later years. I'm going to walk you through 5 simple but incredibly powerful movements that aren't just replacements for walking, they're genuine upgrades to your fitness routine. Stay with me through all 5, because the third one alone completely changed the life of a 72-year-old who had given up on ever climbing stairs comfortably again. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're watching from, so drop your location in the comments. Building this community of people committed to aging powerfully means everything. Now let's get into these game-changing movements. Let's start with something that might surprise you: the counter push-up. Most people associate push-ups with young athletes or gym enthusiasts, but here's a truth that often gets overlooked. After 60, your upper body strength becomes one of the most critical predictors of your independence and quality of life. Think about your daily activities: opening stubborn jars, pushing yourself up from a chair, catching yourself if you stumble. Your chest, shoulders, arms, and core muscles are literally your silent protectors, constantly working to keep you safe and functional. Counter push-ups offer a joint-friendly, highly effective method to rebuild this essential strength without ever having to get down on the floor. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Functional Aging discovered something remarkable. Seniors who practiced incline push-ups just 3 times weekly improved their upper body power by 42% and their reaction time by 21% in only 8 weeks. This isn't just about building muscle. We're talking about faster reflexes, better balance, and significantly fewer falls. Even more impressive, this movement activates your deep core muscles, directly improving your posture and spinal health, 2 critical factors that walking alone simply doesn't address. Here's how to perform it properly. Stand facing a sturdy countertop or kitchen counter. Place your hands on the edge, positioned about shoulder width apart. Step your feet back until your body forms a straight line from your head all the way to your heels. Slowly lower your chest toward the counter, maintaining that straight body position. Pause for 2 full seconds at the bottom, then press yourself back up to the starting position. Begin with 6 to 8 repetitions, gradually working your way up to 15. Remember, slower is actually better here. Control matters far more than speed. Now, you should exercise caution if you have unhealed shoulder injuries or significant wrist pain. If the full movement feels too challenging initially, you can reduce the difficulty by standing closer to the counter, which decreases the incline. Always keep your core muscles engaged throughout the movement and never allow your hips to sag downward. Proper form matters far more than the number of repetitions you complete. This simple movement is truly your gateway to maintaining strength and dignity for years to come, too. The second movement focuses on something we often take completely for granted: the simple act of walking. We assume walking will always feel natural and easy until one day it doesn't. But what if the secret to walking with ease, climbing stairs confidently, or simply standing up from a chair isn't actually in your feet or knees at all? The real secret lies in your thighs. As we age, the quadriceps and hip flexors, those powerful muscles at the front of your thigh, begin to weaken at an alarming rate. Once they deteriorate, your mobility deteriorates right along with them. Straight leg raises are a deceptively simple but highly targeted movement to reverse that decline. A 2024 study from the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation found that older adults who performed straight leg raises 4 times weekly for 6 weeks improved their walking speed by 22% and their stair climbing ability by 35%. That's not just statistically impressive, it's genuinely life-changing. Additionally, this exercise strengthens the deep core stabilizers that keep your pelvis properly aligned and reduce lower back pain. You're getting 2 crucial benefits from one simple movement. Here's the proper technique. Lie on your back on a firm surface like a yoga mat or even your bed. Bend one knee, keeping that foot flat on the surface. Keep your other leg completely straight and slowly raise it 12 to 18 inches off the ground. Hold that position for 3 full seconds, then lower slowly and with control. Start with 6 repetitions for each leg, working your way up to 12 to 15 over time. You should be cautious if you've had a recent hip replacement or suffer from severe lower back pain. You can modify this exercise by performing it while seated or by placing a rolled towel under your knee for support. If your lower back arches off the floor during the movement, reduce your range of motion and focus on tightening your core muscles. This is how you systematically rebuild the strength to move through life with confidence, one powerful step at a time. Now, let's address something that becomes genuinely intimidating for many people after 60. Stairs. Maybe your knees start protesting. Maybe your balance feels uncertain. But here's the thing. Avoiding stairs is like voluntarily giving up a small piece of your freedom every single day. The encouraging news is that the solution isn't more walking, it's smarter, more strategic movement. Step-ups are among the most powerful exercises you can perform to train strength, coordination, and stability simultaneously in one simple motion. A 2023 study from the American Geriatric Society discovered that older adults who practice step-ups 3 times weekly improved their lower body power by 48% and reduced their fall risk by more than half. That's absolutely huge because falls aren't just frightening, they're often life-altering events. This exercise mimics a real-world movement you encounter constantly, stepping onto curbs, stairs, or bus steps. Mastering this movement means mastering your environment and reclaiming your confidence. Step-ups also activate your glutes, quadriceps, calves, and core muscles, precisely the muscle groups that decline fastest with age. By training them together in one integrated movement, you rebuild both strength and confidence with every repetition. Here's how to do it correctly. Stand facing a sturdy low step, ideally 4 to 8 inches high. Step up with your right foot, pressing through your heel rather than your toes. Then bring your left foot up to join it. Step down with control, never rushing. Start with 6 to 8 repetitions per leg. Hold onto a counter or railing for balance if you need to. There's absolutely no shame in using support. Exercise caution if you have knee osteoarthritis or have recently had hip surgery. Begin with a lower surface or work with a physical therapist's guidance to ensure you're moving safely. Never rush this movement. Slow and controlled repetitions build strength safely and effectively. Remember, you're not just stepping up onto a platform, you're stepping back into your power and independence. Here's a movement that might seem strange at first, but it addresses one of the most telling signs that aging is affecting us. Standing up from a chair becomes harder than it used to be. That gradual fade in leg strength doesn't just steal your mobility, it steals your confidence and independence. But there's a way to take it back, and interestingly, it doesn't require moving through space at all. Wall sits are one of the most underrated exercises for people over 60, and here's why they're so effective. They build exactly the kind of strength you actually use in daily life. Sitting down, standing up, lifting objects, and catching yourself if you start to fall. A 2023 study from a major longevity research center found that older adults who practiced wall sits just 3 times weekly for 6 weeks improved their lower body endurance by 55% and reduced knee pain by nearly half. Even more fascinating, imaging scans showed increased activation in the motor cortex of the brain, literally retraining your brain to control movement more effectively. The beauty of this exercise is that you don't need weights, fancy equipment, or even much space. Here's the proper form. Stand with your back against a wall. Slowly slide down the wall until your thighs are roughly parallel to the floor, as if you're sitting in an invisible chair. Hold this position for 15 to 30 seconds initially, working your way up to 1 full minute over time. Rest briefly, then repeat 2 to 3 times. Who should be careful with this movement? Avoid wall sits if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure or severe knee arthritis. You can modify by sliding down only part way or using a stability ball between your back and the wall for support. Never hold your breath during this exercise. Breathe deeply and steadily throughout the entire hold. Wall sits don't just build muscle tissue. They build the resilience and endurance you need most in daily life. Now let's discuss something we don't typically associate with exercise: your brain health. The fifth movement might look a bit funny when you first try it, but it's genuinely one of the most powerful movements you can perform after 60. Not just for your core strength, but for your cognitive health, balance, and spinal protection. This exercise is called the dead bug, and despite its amusing name, the benefits are absolutely serious. A 2024 study from a prominent medical clinic found that seniors who practiced this cross-body core movement 3 times weekly showed a 38% improvement in balance, a 26% reduction in back pain, and most astonishingly, a measurable increase in brain connectivity between the left and right hemispheres. Why does that matter so much? Because that kind of neural activation is directly linked to better memory, sharper thinking, and even lower risk of age-related cognitive decline. Unlike traditional crunches or planks, the dead bug trains your deep stabilizer muscles and improves your body's ability to control movement under pressure. That's exactly what you need to prevent falls, move confidently, and stay mentally sharp. Here's how to perform it. Lie on your back with your arms extended straight up toward the ceiling and your knees bent at 90 degrees, like a bug flipped on its back. Slowly lower your right arm and left leg toward the floor simultaneously, keeping your core muscles tight and your back completely flat against the floor. Return to the starting position and repeat on the opposite side. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions per side, focusing on control rather than speed. Who should be cautious? Skip or significantly modify this exercise if you have unmanaged lower back issues or neck pain. You can start by moving just your arms or just your legs separately until you build sufficient core strength. Always keep the movement slow and controlled with your core gently engaged throughout. This isn't just a core strengthening move. It's brain training disguised as physical exercise. If you've stayed with me this far, I want to share something important with you. This wasn't just about teaching you 5 exercises. This was about helping you reclaim something much deeper: your strength, your balance, your independence, and ultimately your future. For years, we've been told that walking is the gold standard for fitness after 60. And while walking is absolutely wonderful and beneficial, it's only one piece of a much larger puzzle. What you truly need, what you genuinely deserve, is a comprehensive routine that builds a specific kind of strength that actually protects your quality of life. The strength to rise from a chair without any struggle or assistance. The balance to step off a curb with complete confidence. The resilience to keep moving, thinking clearly, and thriving entirely on your own terms. These 5 movements I've shared, the counter push-ups, straight leg raises, step-ups, wall sits, and dead bug exercise, aren't just alternatives to walking. They're smarter, more targeted tools backed by legitimate scientific research and real-world results from real people just like you. You don't need to perform them perfectly right from the start. You just need to begin. Progress, not perfection. That's the only rule here. And please remember this crucial truth. You are not too old. You're simply undertrained in the right ways. If this information has helped shift your perspective even slightly, I would genuinely love to hear from you. What's one aspect of movement or strength you'd like to improve this year? Share in the comments below because I personally read every message. This isn't just content I'm creating. This is the community we're building together. And if someone you care about needs to hear this message, please share this with them. We rise together, one repetition at a time, one day at a time. You're not here to fade quietly into the background. You're here to grow stronger, both inside and out. Let's keep moving forward together.